We are here today because Canada is broken.
This all stems from a violent clash that broke out on Sunday, where one group calling for an independent sixth state in India.
Our kindness and generosity has given way to naivety and weakness. We did not want to be taken advantage of, tricked, lied to, and sold out by those we trusted to lead us.
Is the land of the free now chained by the weight of illegal immigration? Or was it always this fragile? When the guest list grows too long and the host has no more chairs, who gets to stay at the table? Is Canada's once golden reputation now just a tarnished trophy gathering dust on the shelf of broken promises? For many years, Canada has been seen as a land of opportunity, a place where anyone willing to work hard could build a better life. But lately, that dream has turned sour for millions of Canadians. Once known for its peaceful streets, abundant resources, and world-class opportunities, Canada is now grappling with problems so severe that some wonder if it's still livable. At the heart of this crisis lies one issue: mass illegal immigration, and the government's failure to address it responsibly. Nevertheless, you don't miss the water till the well runs dry, and right now, Canada's once celebrated system is running dry. Don't touch your screen as we dig into the facts, uncover the failures, and expose the uncomfortable truths behind why this country no longer feels livable for so many. As of November 2024, an estimated 600,000 undocumented immigrants reside in Canada. This rapid influx of illegal immigrants has contributed to an unsettling rise in crime. Statistics from the Canadian Association of Chiefs of Police reveal a 30% increase in violent crime rates between 2013 and 2023. Toronto, once considered the safest major city in North America, has seen incidents of assault, theft, and drug-related crimes rise dramatically. For instance, the Toronto Police Service reported a notable rise in violent crimes, with assaults increasing by about 10.4% in 2023 compared to previous years. Much of it tied to areas with concentrations of undocumented immigrants. Residents in Brampton and Mississauga have expressed fears of leaving their homes at night, with local leaders citing overburdened police forces and stretched community resources as key issues. Yet, the government's response has been lukewarm at best, blaming systemic factors rather than addressing the root cause. But if they really think that blaming systemic factors will bring a solution to this crisis, then the joke is on them. You can't fit 10 pounds of potatoes in a 5-pound sack, and Canada's job market is a clear example of that. With the high number of immigrants mentioned earlier, the competition for jobs has become fiercer than ever. Canadian-born citizens, especially in cities like Vancouver and Montreal, now battle to find employment, not just with fellow Canadians, but with a flood of unvetted workers. As of May 2024, the youth unemployment rate was reported at 14%, significantly higher than the national unemployment rate of 6.3%. And the reason is as clear as daylight. Employers often prefer hiring undocumented workers who accept lower wages and fewer benefits. However, the irony of the whole situation is that many illegal immigrants are themselves victims, working under exploitative conditions for less than minimum wage. It's a lose-lose scenario born from poor border control policies and lack of enforcement. Meanwhile, the government remains fixated on its image of inclusivity, ignoring the strain this places on its own citizens.
Why are we bringing in so many people if we know for a fact that we don't have housing for them?
A full house can't hold more guests, and right now, Canada is in the grip of a housing crisis, and mass immigration has made it worse. In 2024, the Canadian Housing and Mortgage Corporation, or CHMC, reported a shortfall of over 1.8 million homes, with demand far outstripping supply. Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver, once thriving hubs for families and young professionals, now have average home prices hovering above $1.2 million.
You've been living in your van for a year?
Yes, just over a year now. I bought my van.
What led to this?
Well, I was rent evicted, which is happening a lot, and the high cost of rents, I just couldn't afford an apartment. I couldn't afford anywhere to live. So I ended up buying a van, and I now live in a van.
And you have a full-time job?
Yeah, I work full-time at the hospital as a CCA. I've been there 25 plus years. And yeah, I can't afford to live in an apartment by myself.
For renters, the story isn't any better. The average rent for a one-bedroom apartment in Toronto hit $2,300 per month in 2024, a 20% increase from 2020. And it's not just housing. Everything is getting more expensive. But it is not surprising, because when too many hands reach into the pot, nobody gets a full meal. The cost of living in Canada has soared, driven by inflation, housing costs, and the burden of supporting a rapidly growing population. Groceries, fuel, and basic utilities are now luxuries for many families.
We have a serious problem here in Canada. Just came to $218. How?
A loaf of bread that cost $2.50 in 2015 is now closer to $4.50. Gasoline averages over $1.70 per liter, while electricity bills have surged by 25% since 2020. Heat, or EAT, is becoming a grim reality for many Canadian families as energy prices spiral out of control. This goes without saying that the average household now pays over $2,000 annually for electricity, a 30% increase since 2018. Experts point to strained public resources as a key factor. For every dollar spent on immigration programs, Canadians pay the price in one way or the other. It is as if the government is playing a game of Monopoly where citizens are losing players, mortgaging their futures for policies that don't prioritize them. If you can't win fair and square, change the rules. That's the strategy many believe is behind Canada's immigration policies. Critics argue that mass illegal immigration is being used as a political tool, with new arrivals promised benefits in exchange for political loyalty. A shocking revelation came in 2023 when leaked documents suggested that certain political parties were intentionally relaxing border controls to bolster their voter base. Even though the government denied the allegations, the timing of policy changes and the demographic shifts in key voting districts tell a different story. For many Canadians, this feels like betrayal, a government more interested in maintaining power than serving its people. The same goes to the healthcare system. Hospitals are overcrowded, with wait times for surgeries and specialist appointments reaching record highs. A 2024 report found that over 5 million Canadians lacked access to a family doctor, a problem exacerbated by the growing population. Social services, too, are feeling the pinch. Food banks across the country report record usage, with some turning away families due to lack of resources. Immigrants, both legal and illegal, often rely heavily on these services, stretching already limited resources to the breaking point. At the heart of these issues lies a government unwilling or unable to act. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's administration has been criticized for prioritizing open border policies over the well-being of Canadians. Instead of addressing the root causes of illegal immigration, the government has doubled down on policies that only exacerbate the problem. For example, in 2021, the government allocated $1 billion for temporary housing and social services for immigrants. Meanwhile, Canadian veterans and homeless citizens were left without support.
Allowed a lot of immigrants in who, just on the promise that they want to contribute to society in a positive way, and I think that's a very good and noble thing. It's something to be proud of. But what we're doing right now is just destroying the game for everyone.
Canada's current trajectory is unsustainable. The unchecked influx of mass illegal immigration has strained the country's resources, fueled political manipulation, and left millions of Canadians feeling like strangers in their own land. Though immigration has always been a part of Canada's story, the scale and mismanagement we see today are unprecedented. It's time for leaders to remember that charity begins at home. Canada can be a land of opportunity again, but only if it addresses the root causes of its current struggles. The solution is not to close the door entirely, but to ensure the immigration policies serve the country's long-term interests. If not, the Canada we know and love may soon become a thing of the past. Make sure to check out other interesting videos on our channel. Like and share this video to spread awareness. If you haven't already, subscribe and click the bell icon so you don't miss out on our future content. Thank you for your support. This is Wild Tour. See you in our next video.